Building champions in Raid Shadow Legends is not easy. I'm one of those players that has reached level 90 and I've been playing every day since the game has launched. With all those battles fought, I have a decent understanding on how to build certain champions, and with my resource management, efficiency approach, and budget builds in mind, I want to share what my champions look like after all this time in 2021. But before I get to that, here's a quick reminder on how you can support this channel for full-time content creation. I do play other gacha games, for example, Summoner's Glory, the only game that I know where you can actually help other players summon to get better drops. You can enter the promo code BGE during character creation to get free in-game loot. Or this other game that I can afford to play every day, and this one really feels like a mobile game because you have instant battles. You can enter the promo code Bionic before level 15 to get free in-game loot. All download links will be in the description and comment section. And today's updated build is going to be about ACHAK the Wendarin. I already did one last year, but now he's an MVP on my account, so I want to go over the changes that I've done to make him work for, let's say, the level 25 dungeons, but also a couple other places like some of the Doom Tower bosses. Of course, there's faction wars as well. So let's quickly go over the kit first though. AoE freeze or HP burn. Most of the time I get the freeze, and to be honest, both of them are fantastic, which pairs very nicely with his passive. Either you heal or you fill the turn meter by 10% for every enemy under a freeze debuff. Fantastic for the Spider 25, as I'll show you guys in a second. You also have a block debuffs going on first, one of the rare champions in the game that can do this, and he was pretty clutch for me for some of the Doom Tower progressions on the first rotation. Now though, because this is a 4-turn cooldown, I tend to use other champions, and then the A1 here will do a different effect depending if the target has HP burn or freeze. Let's quickly look at the index for this champion. We have multipliers that we don't really care about. To be honest, you do not care about the damage that this champion will deal. It's all about being tough enough to survive and take more turns. But still, if you guys want to have a quick look, here they are. And also a quick reminder that all these champion builds are on my BGE's guide spreadsheet, which a link is available in the description. I kind of go over my full account tuning so that you guys can have a better understanding how all of these champions work together. And also on the welcome page, you have a link for the champion builds, which will have obviously ACHAK the Wendarin in there. So the first thing I want to cover about ACHAK the Wendarin is the dungeons. This is probably the main reason why he is now an MVP on my account. So the first build that I tried with ACHAK the Wendarin on the test server had him along with Mordecai, a Vizix, and 2 Cold Hearts for me to get 1 minute and 33 seconds, but I'll show you guys in a second an even faster time. Then I also tried him against Ice Golem 25, which, as you can see right there, we do have ACHAK the Wendarin along with Rector Drath, Mordecai, Padma, and Taurus. So I might use something similar on the live, but this is certainly an option for you guys if you don't have those fancy legendaries. And then also, of course, I tried a 3-man Ice Golem 25, which made it faster because there was less animations than a full team of 5 champions. But along with Battle, Khazar, and Drexstar, ACHAK can be absolutely amazing for this. But now here's a quick run of my new level 25 Spider 25 team with ACHAK the Wendarin and Mordecai, along with a Renegade, which basically has almost no gear, and 2 Cold Hearts. The concept is very simple. You AoE freeze. Ideally, you get them all, or else this can fail. Then you AoE HP burn. You let the Cold Hearts take their first turn. Big boost right there from ACHAK the Wendarin. Turn meter reduction. Heartseeker number 1, Heartseeker number 2. Then Renegade takes a turn. Obviously, she has no speed. For this to work, she has no speed, and your Cold Hearts need to be really fast. Your ACHAK also needs to be really fast. Same thing with Mordecai. So there is a proper speed tuning to this. Again, going back to my guides, this is why I'm putting all the speeds on there. All right, so if you want to replicate this exact build, it's not about just ACHAK's speed, it's about all the other champions as well. And right here we need what, 1 or 2 more HP burns. Hopefully you do not kill the Spiderlings at all, so you don't want ACHAK to hit hard, you don't want Mordecai or your 2 Cold Hearts to hit hard other than their Heartseeker skill. Like I mentioned in the beginning, ACHAK the Wendarin was also really important for the Doom Tower. This was my first rotation of being able to complete Sorath, right? So I had to use ACHAK the Wendarin and Drexstar in here along with Arbiter, Salad Drakes, and a Poisoner. It made this relatively easy, gave me one of my best times, but the stat requirements were really hard to obtain. So since then I have toned down my ACHAK the Wendarin, but it's just to show you guys that there is an opportunity to keep using him in there. Not to mention, for some of the waves, he's actually also really good. All right, so it's not just for a boss. He can literally help carry you for everything else that you need to do. Now let's go on to the faction wars, where your well-geared champions usually end up anyway. But I want to take a second or two to talk about this here, because ACHAK is allowing me to auto this stage 21, and I think that's a huge improvement on any account. Sorry, over time you kind of want to be able to reach this point where you can set it and forget it. So ACHAK will give us mostly HP burns in this case, because they're mainly defense-based champions. Also, if you bring something like decreased attack, it might actually lower your stats, I believe, and then you get an HP burn instead of an AoE freeze. So again, I'm not too worried about not getting the freeze here. Instead, I have other forms of crowd control like the AoE provoke and the AoE block cooldown of the skills from Countess Licks. We also have a decreased accuracy. So overall, this team is pretty good on the amount of crowd control, but ACHAK with his passive gives you a lot of sustainability, and that is something you need for the boss. Here, for example, on the second wave, we're still able to control all of these champions right here. We do end up taking maybe a little bit of damage here and there, but our Umbral usually controls the entire wave. She's in lifesteal, therefore she can pretty much heal herself back up. But for the boss fight, ACHAK is also pretty important, number one, because of that aura, and also because of the passive yet again. All right, so it's really nice to finally be able to be at this point for yet another crypt. Over time, guys, you do want to reach this, and ACHAK the Wendarin for me now is kind of clutch for all this. Okay, so let me fast forward here a little bit to the end to show you the end of this fight. That's it. We finish with a full team, literally, but like I said, it is pretty slow. We're going in about 7.5 minutes. Now let's go check out the gear and the masteries. So here it is with speed gear and accuracy gear. Might as well be perception or random pieces. You kind of don't care. You're just going for the overall stats on this champion, at least for what I'm doing right now. 3.3k defense, 244 speed. Maybe it can be a little bit lower. I have seen even higher on some other builds. So again, it's just about being fast, but perhaps you don't need to go as fast. Up to you to test. Debuff, resistance, and accuracy. Kind of low for Sorath, which I don't use it against Sorath anymore. I'm gonna say if you really want to keep using this champion in there, aim for 350 resistance and 350 plus accuracy. This is not easy to do with this speed, so you might need to go for full speed gear. As for the individual pieces, speed, HP, accuracy is great. You don't care about crit rate, you don't care about crit damage. Defense percent is good. Defense percent gloves, we have an HP percent chest. Crit damage, crit rate, kind of useless right there. We have speed and accuracy, lots of it on the boots. Then we have defense, resistance. It could be accuracy. For Spider 25, I do not need that extra amount of resistance. Ice Golem 25, though, you might want some resistance, so perhaps this is not lost in a sense. As for the skills, they are all done. Obviously, this one right here, right? That is number one. You want to get this as high up as possible. And also for the masteries, you do want Fearsome Presence, okay? So Fearsome Presence is going to give you an extra 5% on that A3, giving you a 95% chance of placing that AoE freeze or HP burn. I think that's pretty important. Also, Harvest Despair here for Sorath and the two little spiderlings, so you can ideally freeze them and then get the leech to proc. I think that's pretty important. Retribution, to be honest, the rest is not that important, but then we have accuracy in here if you think you're missing a little bit. Evil Eye is always pretty important. I do have Arcane Celerity. I suppose I could have gotten the rapid response. No, sorry. Arcane Celerity, I think, is a little bit better, especially against the Spider 25, so this might be needed with the speed that you saw in there. Now let's go check out the summary, which has a quick highlight of what we just discussed. So what I will do after this video is posted, I'm going to put a hyperlink in here so that you guys can check out basically all the champions I've covered so far in 2021. And again, keep coming back to this because I might make some tweaks here and there. So again, it is about the other champions and not just ACHAK the Wendarin. For example, Mordecai on that Spider 25 has roughly 219 speed right now. We do have a couple cold hearts in there. Both of them that were in that video have 210-ish speed, give or take maybe 1 or 2. That Renegade you saw in the video for the Spider 25 is at 95 speed, literally 0 speed. So again, it's real important that you guys understand the full tuning, right? Not just ACHAK. There you have it, my quick updated build on this new champion or this new MVP for my account. Do let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys later.